Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. And welcome to the technology show on Salam Media. The show is called TechByte with myself, Faizel Patel. It is just gone 6 minutes past 7 o'clock on this Sunday evening. Jazakallah so much for tuning in to the technology show. We've got a number of things to discuss this evening. But before we do that, let's take this opportunity to welcome all those listening to us on the various platforms of Salam Media. So you can get us on Facebook, you can get us on Instagram, you can even get us on YouTube and also on Twitter as well. And remember that this particular show will be podcast, so you can have a look at it afterwards in case you missed anything as well. On another note, you can also interact with me by sending me a tweet on at Faizel Patel 143. I'm also on Instagram at Faizel Patel 143. Let's not forget facebook.com/Faizel Patel, and where I do all my YouTube videos and unboxings and reviews. You can check it out on YouTube at Faizel Patel. Please also hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. So we were supposed to have a guest today to speak about one of the topics that I'm going to be speaking about, but inshallah, hopefully next week we can discuss it in more detail with regards to staying safe online and also using alternative payment methods. One of the things that we are doing in South Africa at the moment is paying at counters or paying businesses or going to retail stores using different methods of payment. Before, you used to pay with cash, carry large wads of cash in your wallet, and somebody would steal the wallet, and obviously that was a problem. Then the emergence of ATM cards. Then everybody had ATM cards, then you got a credit card, and eventually we got tap to pay, and now you can even pay with your watch. That is possible, so that's actually quite exciting. Then Apple Pay came to South Africa. That is something I use quite often as well. Very, very much safer, and there's also some securities in place. Now, another company that has joined the foray is Google. And this week they launched the Google platform. We're going to be speaking about that. And inshallah, you can join in that particular payment platform, which makes it very much easier as well. Now, I don't tend to carry lots and huge amounts of cash in my wallet because you never know what's going to happen. You can lose your wallet and you can get mugged or whatever it is. So I carry about 50 or sometimes 100 in case you need to have cash on hand. But most of the times I normally do either pay with my watch or I do pay with my phone, which is tap to pay, and it is a secure and safe method as well. So let's speak about the first story, and this is something that's happened this week. Google sent me a press release, and it is on the Citizens website. You can read it. The topic that we talk about is Google Wallet, and that's now available in South Africa. So the title on the Citizen website is Google Wallet in South Africa, everything you need to know about it. So if you heard about Google Wallet and if you heard it through friends or you've seen it in social media, well, the Citizen story basically tells you everything that you need to know about this particular payment platform. So let's go through the story quickly. Google has launched Google Wallet in South Africa, saying it's a safer, simpler, and more helpful experience when transacting. That's the whole catch here. And it's not actually a catch, but the whole tagline. It's safer, simpler, and more helpful experience. I think safer and simpler is quite significant considering that we are living in very difficult economic times. Now, the tech company says Google Wallet is also enabled to save and access payment cards. That means your credit cards or your bank cards, loyalty cards like your clicks and many others as well, and then boarding passes. If you are flying, you can actually save these boarding passes into Google Wallet. So it's similar to Apple Wallet or the program you got on Apple on your phone as well, but this is now the Google version of it. Google South Africa Country Director Alistair Mukwena says access to technology is vital for economic prosperity as millions of people use their mobile devices daily to tap and pay at stores, pay for public transport, and utilize a variety of passes. Now, think about it, dear listeners. What is the one thing that you carry on you all the time besides your wallet? It's your mobile phone and your watch, right? So if you haven't got a smartwatch, but you carry your phone all the time with you wherever you go, so what better payment method to pay than with your phone? But I must stress that you must have two-factor authentication set up, because there is a possibility sometimes where you can lose the phone. But let's carry on with the Google story. Now, he basically says at Google, we have learned the great things happen when technology works for everyone by including everyone. A dynamic ecosystem of manufacturers, developers, and users. We want to make digital wallets accessible to everyone through fast, secure access to everyday essentials. Now, there is one sad part, obviously, with regards to this whole thing. I was speaking to a colleague at work, is that in the olden days, we used to experience physical money, the joy and the elation of having physical cash in your hand. We don't see that anymore. It's a very small few anyway. But these days, everything is done electronically. So you don't experience having that amount of cash in your hand. Disadvantage, but we are living in times where it's quite dangerous and we need to be more safe as well. So basically, how to use Google Wallet. Now, if you miss any of this, right, please remember that it is available on the Citizen website. Search for Google and you'll find the article there. um, let's go through it quickly. Those who already have a credit or debit card saved to their Google account will have it automatically appear in Google Wallet. So that's the first thing you need to remember. All you need to do is set it up for contactless payments by following the steps on the screen when you actually go in there. Now, if you don't have a card saved and would like to add a new card to the wallet, you can select the Add a Card prompt in the carousel at the top of the wallet app page, and then you will be then prompted to review and accept the issue terms and conditions before use. Once you have accepted and verified the card information, the cards will be tokenized and ready for use on Google Wallet. It's as simple as that. You will then be able to use them to tap and pay in stores and pay online wherever the Google Pay or contactless symbol is visible. And basically, that's almost everywhere at the moment, apart from a few stores. Now, adding digital items to Google Wallet, like boarding passes, especially when you're going on a plane and you're going everywhere else and traveling, is equally simple and can be often done with a few clicks. After completing the purchase of a flight on an airline website, you can or will see a button labeled Add to Google Wallet that will create the digital version of that in your basically in your wallet. Now, I know a lot of people will be worried about privacy. Well, don't stress. Bukwena says most importantly, security and privacy are built into every part of Google Wallet, making payments safer and allowing people to transact and with confidence throughout the day. So you can be assured that it is safe. They very, very prioritizing on safety. And then just on the banks, if you want to know which banks are available on Google Wallet, there's quite a few amounts, quite a few banks that are available on Google Wallet. And I'm going to give them to you quickly. So cardholders of First Rand Bank, or we know them as FNB, Discovery Bank, Investec, Standard Bank, EPSA, and NetBank will be able to add the cards to Google Wallet and pay with their Android phones or Wear OS. So if you got an Android phone or you got a Samsung watch or a Huawei watch, you will able to then pay with us, right? Where contactless payments are accepted in stores, in apps as well. So to give you an example, I mean, I think this is absolutely brilliant. Just getting your phone and make a payment with your phone is something that is actually amazing. And I want to give you an example of how it actually happened to me. So we were gone to a sports day for my kids, and my little boy was extremely hungry, and I had a tracksuit pants on, and I happened to forget my wallet at home. Now, obviously, that's very sad because you can't actually do anything, but I had my Samsung phone with me. So we went into a Nando's. I didn't realize at the time I had forgotten my wallet. I went into a Nando's store, and we already had ordered. It was now time to pay. And I looked in the back and I said, "Oh no, I forgot my wallet home. I didn't have my jeans on. I had the track pants on, but I had my phone." And I took out my phone and I went into the Samsung Pay and I used the card to pay. So these are the kind of things that you can actually use to pay. And I think it's absolutely amazing. It's also safe. Remember that if your phone does get stolen, right, you will or you should have two-factor authentication on your phone so people do not have access
fresh. Listen to Salam Media, your humanitarian broadcaster.
We do apologize for the break in transmission. It's just unfortunately internet went down for a few seconds. But anyway, this makes it a safer and better method of paying. I think it is absolutely amazing. And like I said, if you need more information with regards to Google Wallet, you can check it out on the Citizen website. You can also tweet me on it, Faizel Patel 143, and inshallah, I will then try to answer as much questions as possible for you on that. Right. Now, we were speaking about safety and security. Now, the one thing that everybody is on, even while I'm streaming the show and you are streaming this at home, it means you are on the internet. And that is very important at the moment. Why? Because the internet is become a source of information which we use all the time, whether it's Google, whether it's maps, or whether it's searching for something. It means we are on the internet, right? But we need to be safe on the internet. So I've written another story also on the Citizen website. It's called 5 Tips for Surfing the Internet Safely. I'm going to go through this. It's a lot of detail on there. But if you need more details, inshallah, you can go to the Citizens website and it will give you some details on there. So let's first start off with the stats. In South Africa, there are 41.19 million active internet users. Listen to that again. 41.19 million active internet users, with 78.6% of the country's population accessing the internet via a mobile device. Now, can you believe that, right? 41.19, right? With 78.6% of you or people at home and people across South Africa accessing the internet using a mobile device. So obviously using data as well. Now, I'm not going to go through too much detail of the 5 tips of the internet. Let's just speak about it. One of the greatest technological events of humanity obviously was the day in 1991 when a web page was published for the first time worldwide. Last week was World Internet Day, right? In the middle of the week last week, in 1991, the first web page was actually published. From that moment, the internet has continued to grow and change every aspect of our lives, from the way we work to how we love. Now, I know, and when I worked for a previous radio station, we always spoke about whether it is permissible in Islam to use the internet. I don't want to go into the religious aspect of it, but the point is that whether even if you want to search a hadith, or whether you want to search a surah, or you want to search a YouTube video of Sheikh Mahir al-Muaikli, which I do often, the fact is that you're going to be using your internet, and you're going to be using the internet on your phone. So an example I want to use, a movie I watched a while back where the lady was telling the man that the gun is bad. And the man replied and said, the gun is as good or as the bad, good or as bad as the man using it. So if you got a gun, it's as good or as bad as the man using it. A gun in a criminal is used to commit crimes. A gun in the hands of a police officer is used to stop crimes. So same thing with the internet. You can use it to do research, your homework, university, whatever it is, Islamic studies, hadith, Quran, YouTube videos on Nazms, whatever it is. Or alternatively, the person that is using the internet can use it to surf porn, to do a whole lot of other funny things, to surf doodles, to do chat, whatever he wants to do. So you can't blame the internet. You have to blame the person that is using the internet. So let's go on to some safety and some tips for the internet, right? So like I said, each day, millions of people use the internet to access different search engines and web pages and upload information about daily events and on and on. You read the news and that kind of stuff, right? So according to Statistia, as of January 2022, there are 41.9 million active users in South Africa. And as I mentioned, 78.6% of you, or the people in South Africa, use it to access the internet on your mobile phone. So let's speak about the 5 tips. I'm only going to go through the one-liners. You can check more details on the Citizen website. So the first one is only visit secure websites. Many websites do not have security measures in place, either because they are poorly configured, putting shared information at risk, because they are malicious. So be careful which websites you visit. Number two, always install updates. If you get an update on your phone, whether it's a software update or whether it's an app update, update your phone immediately, because these companies and companies that develop these apps will have security measures in place to patch a hole. Last week we spoke about Apple issuing an update because there was malicious people that were hacking into Apple iPhones. Update the software as quickly as possible. Number three, do not use the same username and password for different online services. Now, this is something we spoke to somebody about 2 weeks ago from my broadband, and he spoke to us about using the same password. I know there's a lot to remember. There's a lot of passwords. Rather get a password generator. Google has its own password generator. Apple has its own one as well. You can use LastPass, or that's one of the good ones. But we'll always use like Faizel and then use the password 1234. No. And because it's so easy, you think people won't get it. They get it. So don't use the same username and password for different online services. Change it different. A password generator will make it very much easier. Download applications only from official shops. Now, sometimes official shops applications are expensive. We don't want to pay, and maybe there's a shortcut, or maybe there's somewhere else you can download it from. And I know it happens a lot, but sometimes these are not trusted. Be careful where you transfer, because it can put malicious software or malicious virus onto your computer and hack all your details. And the last thing you need is that. And then finally, protect your devices. A cyber criminal can gain access to a smartphone or tablet or computer in many ways, thereby stealing an incalculable amount of information. Okay. Now, besides the information that they're stealing, let's talk about a smartphone. Even you at home, no matter where you are, you can have the cheapest smartphone with the weakest camera, or you can have the best smartphone with the strongest camera. The one thing that you have on your phone is pictures. You might have pictures of your family, you might have pictures of your wife, you might have pictures of your sensitive documents, whatever the case may be. If a hacker goes into your account, he's not going to have access only to information, but he's going to have access to all your photos, to all your voice recordings, to everything, right? And the last thing you need is that. You don't want things to be compromised. Now, sometimes, like I said, some of these pictures are personal, and the last thing you want to do is somebody taking these pictures, posting it on social media, and you get embarrassed. And it happened before. Don't say it won't happen. We've seen it on WhatsApp groups where people send these pictures by mistake, or people's accounts were hacked. We've seen it with some ministers in South Africa as well, where compromising pictures were sent out and the minister said his account was hacked. Whether it's true or not, that's a story for a different day, but the fact is that it is possible. So 5 tips to use the internet safely. Please, I urge you to take precautions. If you want to read more on that story, you can go to the Citizen website at citizen.co.za. And then finally, coming on to some very exciting news, Meta, or we know them as Facebook Meta, has announced applications for the AR/VR Africa Metathon. So if you want to know what that is, a Metathon, I want to explain to you now. So the Metathon basically is a series of programs and activations under the Meta Global XR Fund aimed at supporting African XR talents. Now, obviously, a mouthful, but let me explain to you what it actually means, okay? So, tech giant Meta, we know them as Facebook before, has announced that applications for the AR/VR Africa Metathon in partnership with Emisi 3D and Black Rhino VR are now open. The Metathon is a series, as I mentioned, of programs and activations under the Meta Global XR Fund aimed at supporting African talents. So if you got technological talents as far as AR and VR is concerned, and this is something that you need to look at. All right. According to Phil Odua, policy program leader for Africa and Meta, he says the AR/VR Metathon is an opportunity to demonstrate how artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality technologies that have been around for a decade are the core to the future metaverse and what Africans are building in the industry. So let me give you an example, right? And I've seen this before, how AR can play a vital role in, let's use one example, in a phobia. So I must admit, I am absolutely scared of spiders. I mean, I'm terrified of spiders. Whenever I see the spider or spider, I always tell my wife, listen, please take the spider out and go put it outside, right? And sometimes, I mean, in Joburg, you get these massive ones, these big ones. You could be in a shower, on your bed, or whatever it is, right? Now, you got a phobia of spiders. Now, with AR virtual reality, you can actually, I seen it, and you can actually Google it, where you can get over your phobia of spiders by wearing a virtual reality head, and you can take your hand and actually touch the spider. That's slowly getting you away from the phobia of spiders. It can be used for heights, it could be used for cats, animals, whatever it is. And virtual reality, and I'm sure most of you at home would have played with virtual reality headsets. It's like you actually there. So this is basically what the metathon is about, right? And then going on, there's actually a video I actually put in an article as well. You can read it there. And then Judith Okonkwo, the founder of Emisi 3D AR VR, says 6 years after its hackathon and following subsequent events in over 28 countries across the continent, they are thrilled to be partnering with Meta and Black Rhino for the 2022 edition. Now, if you want to know how to enter this competition, so all developers, programmers, UI, UX designers, artists, animators, storytellers, professionals and students interested in participating in the 12 weeks of training can register through a link which is available on the Citizen website. So when you go to the Citizen website, search for, it's called Meta Announces Applications. That's the name of the article. You can actually go there. Absolutely amazing. If you are a developer and you want to enter this competition, you can actually do it there as well. So basically, that's what we have to discuss for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, we were supposed to have a guest, but we will have a guest next week, inshallah, to discuss more important issues as far as technology is concerned on Salam Media. Anyway, that concludes the show for this evening. Jazakallah to my engineer for this evening, Brother Sadiq, and also to the my colleagues at Salam Media for allowing me the opportunity to present the technology show. There's a lot happening this week as well. On another note, for those that are aware and are interested in the Comic-Con, that's taking place in September sometime. So that's in this month. I'm actually going for a press briefing on Tuesday, and I will share more details with you. For those that like the characters in Marvel and Thor and Superman and Batman and all that sort of stuff, the Comic-Con is taking place, and it's going to be taking place at Nasdaq. I'll have a lot more information about you as well. And there's a whole lot of other launches that's also taking place. Also got a review coming up of an Asus laptop. Absolutely amazing laptop. It's called the Asus Duo. Wonderful laptop. Inshallah, that will be available on YouTube soon as well. Anyway, from myself, Faizel Patel, please do have a productive week. Remember the Ummah in your du'as, and wherever you are traveling to, please be safe and take it easy on the roads, inshallah. And as I mentioned, there are a lot of people that are going through difficulty, no matter what difficulty, whether illness or whether it's financial difficulty or trying to find a job or just general dua, inshallah. And for all the marhumin, please do lift your hands and make dua for them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them the highest stages of Jannah al-Firdaus. Please do take care of yourself and each other. Fi amanillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.